Good morning everyone, welcome back to my channel. I am currently in Anuradhapura. So Anuradhapura is considered to be Sri Lanka's first capital city, which means that actually the history of Sri Lanka is started from here. It has a long history for over thousands of years. So what we're going to do today is to explore lots of ruins considered as UNESCO World Heritage, and also probably a lot of pagodas and the original Bodhi tree, which is considered to be a religious site where Siddhartha Gautama, or known as Buddha, got his enlightenment. The amount of history that this place has is beyond my knowledge, because I've tried reading the history since last night, but it's too much for me to even understand for a single day or a single trip. A lot of places in Sri Lanka that are considered to be sacred, like temples and everything, you have to take off your shoes or any sandals. It's best to wear sandals because they would often ask you to take it off. So these are people who are coming to do pilgrimage as well. They are wearing white, including me. For me personally, because it's hot, it reflects the sunlight, but for a lot of pilgrims, they do wear white because it represents the color of sacredness and a holy color. Hello. 75% of out of 22 million Sri Lanka's population, they believe in Buddhism, majority population of the country, because 15% of it is Tamil Hindus and a small percentage of Muslim as well as Christian. Look at this line all the way there. One, only one.
One?
Oh, yeah.
Indonesia.
Only one, yeah, alone.
Alone.
Sri Lanka is safe. Easy. It's easy to
not troubles.
No, not at all. These bodies tree, there is one that is original. I don't know quite yet which one that is, but it seems like they have been cut and then planted around the area, so you have a lot more body trees around, and see many pilgrims praying underneath, chanting, meditating. Indonesia?
Indonesia. My friend.
Your friend?
Indonesia.
Yeah? Oh, nice. Photo? Okay. This was sort of a statue replicating the story when the Sri Mahabodhi tree was brought to Sri Lanka, originated from Bodhigaya, India. If you can see behind me is called Ruan Seliwaya, if I'm not mistaken, pagoda, or Dagoba. Or it is known as Great Stupa, although this is actually the third largest Dagoba in the city. It's beautiful. It reminds me of the Shanti Stupa in Pokhara. So if you notice, there are plenty of flags hanging around. It is actually Buddhism flag, because in Nepal I've seen that a lot, and here I've seen that a lot. And there are plenty of pilgrims who are also carrying lotus flower.
It's okay, hi. What's your name?
Danidu.
Who?
Danidu.
Danidu. How old are you?
10 years old.
10. So I am entering the Tuparama Dagobas area, which is considered to be the oldest Dagoba in Sri Lanka, or even the oldest Dagobas that is visible in the world, because this was built back in 3rd centuries. If you are barefoot walking on this scorching hot floor, it gets you. How much is that in rupees?
4,425.
Indonesia.
Indonesia.
Temple is a name, it's a Jetanarama, Jetavanarama.
So how old is the temple?
It's a 2000 years ago.
2,000 years ago.
3000 Buddhist monk, this temple living in place.
Oh, okay. There are 3,000 Buddhist monks. So behind me is the Jevatavarama Dagoba, which is considered to be one of the oldest as well. So a lot of the ruins within this area are of course very old. But what is very impressive about this Dagoba is that the massive scale, right? When it was originally built, it was actually the 3rd largest construction, the first 2 being the Egyptian pyramids. Right now, it's no longer considered to be the 3rd largest monument, because I think the height has been cut off and something like that. But as a tourist, you are required to pay $25 to get to this massive area, and that doesn't include the tuk-tuk if you rent one, or bike rent or anything. So it's just an entrance fee, which is considered to be a little bit more expensive in comparison to other places I've been. This reminds me of the Angkor Wat. This is a very massive scale. This was built back in the 3rd century, so a lot of the bricks looks very old. Impressive. We're currently entering the area of Citadel, which has 3 different compartments of, I think, ruins. First being the King's Palace. This is where we are right now. The King's Palace. Hello. The lady are watching me. I'm distracted. Okay, this was the last king of Sri Lanka's palace. So, as I told before, Anuradhapura was the very first Sri Lanka's capital city before it was moved and shifted to Polonnaruwa, if I'm not mistaken, if I'm pronouncing it right. Nothing much left behind other than ruins and everything.
Hello. What's your name?
My name is Sinoka.
Noka. Hello, Noka. Shifa.
Nice to meet you.
Nice to meet you too.
I'm currently standing in front of the second ruins considered as citadel. This temple is known as the original temple of tooth of Buddha. So it is believed that one of the tooth of Buddha was dropped here. I'm not so sure. What is famous in Sri Lanka is Temple of Tooth in Kandy. However, this is believed as the original Temple of Tooth, and it seems to be that it was built after the King's Palace around the same time or area. I'm not so sure. That the civilization of Sri Lanka during the King Sinhalese kingdom was apparent way before Buddhism influence and Buddha came to Sri Lanka. According to history, they believe Buddha came to Sri Lanka 3 times. This temple tooth is one of, let's say, an apparent evidence of his existence and his influence in Sri Lanka. And Sri Lanka is also known to be the oldest in terms of Buddhist history, if I'm not mistaken. So everywhere you go in the country, the influence is very apparent, except in the North Jaffna. So that's where I'm going for tomorrow. I'm excited to see the difference. While it was the Temple of Tooth, I'm currently passing by another ruins, part of the citadel, the last one. And this was believed to be the kitchen that fed over 800 monks at that time. So behind me basically is Elephant Pond. The name of Elephant Pond comes from the idea because the pond is very massive, and in the past it used to be, I think, thousands and thousands of monks wash clothes here and then they take shower here. And I think this actual pond, the size is exactly pretty much the same, like Olympic size. It's quite impressive. I guess that's pretty much about it for today's experience. According to the sacred ruins, important history of the city, specifically Anuradhapura. I'm heading back to get my lunch because it's already almost 2:30. I would like to thank you so much for watching. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe to this